I think the Chiefs this offseason, they're staring at the biggest offseason for this post-Mahomes era where they got to figure it out. They need defensive line help. They need a running back. They need to establish a run game. They need better wide receiver talent. They need to replace Travis Kelce. They have holes all over, and they need to address them, or else you're going to risk wasting Mahomes' prime. But I think up until this point, really since 2022, Andy Reid has not been able to really adapt his offensive philosophy. He's also been limited by the personnel because the tackle situation has been awful for KC. Even this year, where I feel like they fixed it, injuries has been the big reason why. They were playing their fifth string tackle yesterday against the Chargers. The injuries are the reason why the tackle position was derailed this year, but 2 years before this, it was awful, So they need to address their holes, and they got away with not addressing them, but now it is a do or die offseason. They have to hit an absolute home run if this team has any chance of being back on top.
Yeah, I mean, next year is going to be tough regardless because you have Mahomes coming off the injury, but it does give you a decent chance to have a reset. And I mean, you laid it out. The Chiefs have a lot of holes, like this is a team that, again, has been masked because you have the best quarterback in football. When you have the best quarterback and one of the best head coaches in football, you can, overcome a lot. You can overcome some deficiencies at running back and defense and pass rusher and wide receiver, and the list goes on and on. But this is an offseason where, I know Leo Chanel's a free agent. Travis Kelce's talking about retiring. You have Trent McDuffie's going to be due for an extension. You talked about all of the needs at receiver and running back. The offensive line was super banged up this year. Outside of quarterback and Rashee Rice being like your wide receiver too, like Chris Jones, is getting up there into his, early to mid 30s. There's not a lot of positions that you could just write in pen next year for the Kansas City Chiefs, right? I don't want to call it a transition year because I do expect Mahomes to play a majority of next season, right? I don't know if he's going to be ready exactly for week 1, but I'm expecting him at minimum by like week 4 to be out there just in terms of modern medicine. If he is back in 9 months, right, it's going to be...
Puts him on track for September.
Yeah, it's about September, but you think maybe misses training camp, OTAs, they're going to want to play it slow. But,
Fair.
Either way, let's say he's back October 1st, week 4, week 5. I think Mahomes played majority of the season. So it's weird because it feels like a transition year, but you're going to get to October and you're like, holy shit, the best quarterback in football just came back. Like, we should still try to play for something.
Second best.
Sure, Josh Allen is playing great right now.
Third best.
Lamar Jackson up there for sure.
Let's do it.
Okay. But no, it's a very interesting offseason for the Chiefs because obviously for the last 2 years, it's been you're coming off a Super Bowl. How do you get back or how do you repeat? But this is the first year, obviously. You missed the playoffs. So it gives you a really good chance. We talked about this last week's episode where if you lose the Super Bowl, it's easy to say just run it back. When you miss the playoffs in disastrous fashion, it's a lot harder to say run it back. So I do think the Chiefs are going to have some more overall changes, and they need that, right? Like we saw Tom Brady go through multiple dynasties, really, right? Like it was the ones in the early 2000s, then it was the ones in like the middle 2010s. So we've seen this before when it comes to all-time great teams and all-time great quarterbacks, and that's what they need. They need a bit of a different reset. I think post ACL, it's going to be a bit of Chiefs 2.0. I don't think it's going to be as reliant. Obviously, it's still Mahomes, and he's going to be the dude, but I don't think it is, and it shouldn't be as reliant on Patrick Mahomes. Please save us every single game like we saw that this season.
It's sad when you see one of the game's best go out.
Get well soon.
Get well soon, Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, the game is 100% better with Mahomes. It's unfortunate that we won't get to see him finish out this season. Considering the amount that he had to do for the team, it is extremely, really unfortunate what had transpired. But like you mentioned, he had to shoulder not just the passing game, but on top of it, the running game. You mentioned this, the most that we've seen Patrick Mahomes run. I think that there's a litany of things that have gone wrong for them. Eric Bieniemy breaking up with the Kansas City Chiefs to go and search out his own opportunity. Now, Eric Bieniemy failed post Kansas City, but yes, Kansas City won the championship in 23. But this offense did not look amazing in 23, did not look amazing in 24. It looked good to start the season, but without a running game, it hasn't been consistently great. It's just Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the game. The defense has consistently been average to above average. I think the 1 year you look at it to being a difference maker was that 2023 team where Chris Jones was the best version of himself, of just making impact on every single play. And Trent McDuffie was an all-pro. They just had a lot of strong players at every level, it seemed. But majority, it's been Mahomes carrying. This offseason, it's clear. And at least you now have pressure to go and do something. Where this year, it's like, we just came off a Super Bowl. We just went to 3 straight, won 2 of the last 3. We can chill. We just missed the playoffs with one of the best quarterbacks this game's ever seen in the prime of his career.
Yeah.
This is inexcusable. So Brett Veach has been terrible. Matt Nagy's been terrible.
The team sucks.
Andy Reid hasn't been the best version of himself. Travis Kelce's washed. The secondary's terrible. The defensive line's not that good. Your run defense is great. I'll give you that. That's the one constant year in, year out. Your tackles are bad. Your wide receivers are underwhelming. And your run game is dog shit. At least you have a clear vision on what to do this offseason.
Get better everywhere.
Get better at every single position, because 15 can only do so much to uplift this team. And in 2023, he did so much so to go ahead and bring you another championship. He can only do so much. Now listen, as the Bronco fan in me, if this is now his Tom Brady 10-year run of his teams being underwhelming, sign me up. But no fan should ever root for it to be this way. You want to beat the guy while he's at his best, while he's at 100. And yes, they did fall short prior to this injury, but you want him on the field nevertheless. This is a failed season for Kansas City. I don't look at this as a failed season for Patrick Mahomes because he did everything he possibly could.
He was great.
Oh, man. First of all,
Get well soon.
get well soon, Patrick Mahomes. Get well soon.
He can have my ACL.
Okay.
I'm going to keep mine.
I'm definitely going to keep mine. He cannot have mine.
Lamar needs
but-
I need some, just in
I was
case.
going to say, like, my teams, I got to keep them just in case for my guys.
Good thing ACLs he can come back from. Like nowadays, technology, advancements in medicine. He doesn't
It's
need,
like a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, he doesn't need to have mine. That was nuts. But
Remember when OG said that a calf strain is the worst injury in sports?
Shit, he's not really that wrong.
He isn't.
Now-
He isn't.
nowadays, yeah.
That takes age well.
yeah,
I laughed at it in the moment. I'm like, OG, I don't know. Like,
yeah, it used to be
Bad
like
ones.
it used to have been that big, but now it's like everybody has a calf strain. Like you got to be careful with those. Yeah, the team is dog shit. I seen something that said the Chiefs are like -40 in cap in terms of just money.
Yeah, that's easy to get out of though.
Yeah, so I think it's okay. I've seen dynasties come and go. This kind of reminds me of. It's like kind of relating to the NBA, kind of like the Kobe after Shaq vibes, where like now you're gonna go through your progressive state and your time period where you're kind of just gonna have to thug it out a little bit by yourself. And I think for the Chiefs, it won't take long, maybe a year, maybe 2. Retool. This is a perfect way to end a dynasty in a sense of you've made it to the Super Bowl 3 of the last 4 years. You've had long seasons, you've had literally quick off seasons and stuff like that. Take the year off, reboot, retool. I think the team needs help. I think not having a running game is like you've seen what the running game does for Josh Allen. Granted, they don't have receivers, but having that James Cook and that guy who you could just kind of give the ball to, and that offensive line kind of just stuff other defensive lines, and James Cook would be great. That having a run game like that, like you've seen what Saquon does for Jalen Hurts, you saw what JT was doing for Daniel Jones. Like having a run game with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery do. Having a run game really alleviates a lot of pressure off the quarterback. And I think, you can go out there, you can definitely get a number 1 wide receiver. They haven't had that since Tyreek Hill. I think that's important too. But I really don't think you need that if you have a balanced attack with the run game. I think if you just can grab another guy in the wide receiving department, make it a little 2-3-3 vibe. Meaning a wide receiver 2, a wide receiver 3, a wide receiver 3, and then have a really good running game that helps. I feel like the offensive line is sturdy. I do think they need a little bit of help, but you have Creed Humphrey, you have Simmons, you have guys that are good. Defense, are you going to pay Trent? I don't know. I think Trent's really great. I think
overrated.
Possibly, but I do think he has a lot on his plate.
True.
I think that's important too. Chris Jones, he's getting up there in age. He also has a lot on his plate. I just think there's a lot on the plate of the superstars of the Chiefs, and I think it just is caught up to them. Like the league is just at a different pace that it is right now. And I think with the Chiefs, you got to go in there. They've known the draft well, so that's really good for the most part. Like they've drafted some good pieces, so I think they'll be okay there. Just have to figure out the money situation, bring in really good players. I don't think it'll take long though. When you have a quarterback like Mahomes, it shouldn't take long. It's about, like you said before, though, are you going to take him for granted and not just because he's the best in the game, you feel like you don't have to put enough around him. I think you should always feel the need to stack up your team as much as possible, no matter if you have the best in the game, second best in the game. Always stack up your team. It makes it easier for your superstar. But I'm happy. I'm glad. This shit is lit.
I'm pretty hyped.
We get a new champion, a new AFC game without the Chiefs.
Yay for
so that's
parity.
important. Yeah, like parity is lit.
Shout out.
You know, I did say that Mahomes didn't fail, but then I think back.
No,
on
he
that
definitely
Tex-
failed. I
I
don't
think
know.
back on that Texans game, and I'm like,
No, he felt like dog shit. I don't know why you
0
said that.
touchdowns,
That
3
was
picks.
crazy.
Then I look back in this game yesterday against the Chargers.
He didn't fail alone. The
Do it
Chiefs
that-
failed.
no, that's what I'm saying.
collectively.
The Chiefs
Yeah,
utterly
yeah.
miserably
And listen,
failed.
all great players fail. So it's no slight. Like
Well,
Tom
Tom
Brady,
going to fail more often than not.
with him, I doubt it. But he's one of the few.
Well, win the Super Bowl. That's a win.
You know what? That's great. Depends on what failure is to you, because I feel like Tom Brady, he's failed before.
Yeah.
So if Tom Brady can fail,
Well, I think for
Mahomes
Mahomes, for
can
Brady,
fail.
Super Bowl.
that's fair. They
fair
set
enough.
that standard. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's interesting how they both tore their ACLs in their ninth season. It's obviously not in the same circumstance, but still, in the ninth years for it to happen, I think is an interesting coincidence. I feel like I'm very interested in knowing what they're going to do in the first round, because they need 3 positions on offense: running back, wide receiver, tight end. In this draft, you have Kenyon Sadiq, who is an awesome tight end prospect. You have Jeremiah Love, who is an amazing running back prospect. And you have wide receivers like Mekhi Lemon from USC, Carnell Tate, that are really good. They also need defensive line help. But if I'm the GM of the Chiefs, I'm trying to help Mahomes over putting more on the defense. Like, the run after Tyreek Hill, a lot was invested on the defense. I feel like now this stage, let's invest more into Mahomes to take some load off of him, and then let's try to puzzle up the defense, but let's make the offense as great as we can. The running back and tight end position, to take them in the first round, is interesting, because if you take those 2 positions in the first round, you're paying them like top 5 at their position. So you lose pretty much the contractual value in drafting them. Versus a wide receiver, if you nail a top 15 type wide receiver in the first round, you're getting him at a fraction of a cost comparatively to his value. Like, top end wide receivers are getting 30 million,
40 something.
40
yeah,
million
close to
per
40.
year. If you land a wide receiver, you got him on like a $6 million per year contract for 4 years with the 5th year option. I feel like from a positional value standpoint, it makes the most sense to target a wide receiver. And there's no wide receiver that I love more than Carnell Tate. I think Carnell Tate is going to be an absolute superstar, and hopefully the Chiefs lose out, because then they'll have a better pick. But right now they're slated at
They
11.
got the Titans next week, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Winnable. Super winnable.
They'll lose one more for sure.
Yeah.
The Chiefs will.
They have 6 wins, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 6 and
They'll-
7. They
they'll-
They
suck.
could finish 6-11. That's like a top. That's like what, a 10th pick maybe? Something
Yeah,
like
around there. So it's not the best, because I think Carnell Tate, he could go in the top 10. He's
The
that
Chiefs
good.
did play pretty shitty yesterday, man.
that. They played. Yeah, it was terrible. They got off to a quick start. I think they were up 7-0.
Well, outside of the
10-0.
first drive, they were cooked. They couldn't do anything offensively.